Hello, everyone. I'm Emily.
And I'm Hannah.
And we are the hosts of the I Don't Think So podcast. Each episode, we discuss a different story, theory, or mystery and decide if we think it's believable or if we really don't think so.
Here at the I Don't Think So podcast, we are affiliated with Flurry Sports, and we present our theories on your favorite place to listen to podcasts every Wednesday. If you like what you hear, definitely share our show, give us a rating, leave a comment, and follow us on our socials at I Don't Think So _EH, or check us out on YouTube at IDTS Conspiracies.
The tube of views.
I kind of forgot that was still a thing, so that's fun.
Yeah, we're on YouTube. Hip.
We're hip, we're with it.
I used to love, I would watch hours upon hours of YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And now I just don't. But I used to
I
love
feel
it.
like people still do that. Instead of watching TV, they just watch YouTube videos.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's cheaper than cable.
You're speaking my language.
Cheaper than cable. Well, so this month, such a weird noise.
You know how much cable is, though?
It's
expensive. Or I was looking into trying to watch a football game. This is our sports segue while you get ready to go. Do you know how much Sunday ticket is?
No.
It's $80
a month.
Yeah. Or there's another one, YouTube TV. You can watch the football games too. And it's $70-some a month.
Why is it so expensive?
And I don't care that much. So then the one time I couldn't get Fox Sports to play the Packer game. And then because we have cable or satellite, or not satellite, whatever you call it, the local channels you get, it was playing the Vikings game because it was at the same time. So then I didn't get to watch the Packer game the 1 week.
Bummer. Big time.
And then I'm not paying $80.
Oh God, no.
I might as well go to the game.
I might as well be there.
Yeah.
Or it's that's why I get why people go to the bars and stuff to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm yeah, because they have to pay for it then.
Exactly.
And granted, do you go and eat and drink and be merry? Yeah, but it's cheaper than $80.
100%.
All right. So this month we are on our missing people month. And I'm telling you right here, right now, I was Googling missing persons cases. And it was there were so many that I wanted to do. And then I would go to their research page, tell all. And it was a paragraph. And I was how am I going to fill that? 30 minutes.
It's hard because there's so many missing people that there's just no information. And so it's you want to give them their moment, but there's not much you can report on.
No, basically a lot of it was and then they were gone. And I'm okay, that's sad.
Not helpful. Yeah.
No kidding. So today we're going to talk about a person named Laureen Rahn.
Ooh,
heard of her? Anne is her middle name. Oh, Rahn, Rahn is her last.
Gotta get it.
She disappeared in 1980. So we're talking a little while ago.
44 years.
44 years. So she was an American teenager at the time who vanished under some mysterious circumstances from her home in Manchester, New Hampshire. I almost was Hampshire.
Hampshire.
And I went, not how you pronounce New Hampshire.
Bridgerton.
Ooh. Welcome to the Hampshire. On the night of her disappearance, she was accompanied by a male and female friend at the apartment she would be sharing with her mom. But her mom wasn't in the apartment at their time because she was out on a date with her boyfriend.
Ooh.
So a little bit about Laureen. She was born April 3rd, 1966 in Manchester, New Hampshire. Her parents divorced when she was an infant, and she was primarily brought up by her mother, Judith Rahn. When Laureen was 4, she and Judith moved to Miami, Florida, but 6 years later they would return to Manchester.
Okay.
By 1980, they resided in a third floor apartment on Merrimack Street. Laureen was a student at Parkside Junior High School. She was described as happy, outgoing, and a great student who got along with her mother, excuse me.
Okay. So she was a child.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I missed that part.
Born in 1966, went missing in 1980.
So 14.
She was 14.
Look at that quick math.
She loved to sing and dance, and she dreamed of being an actress. However, Laureen was said to be quote-unquote troubled. She spent much of her time alone and on the streets. She'd often talk about running away and began to smoke marijuana and drink alcohol. Her aunt Diane described her as, quote, an angel who hung around with the wrong people for a while, end quote. Which I think we all kind of went through some hardships when we were, not ever, hardships is not the word. You know, it's so normal for teens to rebel.
For sure.
And, you know, a teen who's living in an apartment with her mother, with divorced parents, mom's dating, it sounds like she was just being a typical teenager.
For sure.
But of course, then everyone's like, why are you such a demon? And it's like, well, because that's what teenagers are.
Exactly. Like you didn't do anything ever when you were a child.
Ugh. Gave my parents gray hair.
Yeah.
I'd say my dad, I didn't give him gray hair. He didn't have any hair to begin with.
He lost his hair.
It was gone. So we'll talk a little bit about the timeline of her disappearance. So on April 26, 1980, Laureen was left to stay home at the apartment. Her mom was spending the evening attending an out-of-town tennis match to watch her boyfriend, who is a professional tennis player.
Ooh.
So she wanted to watch him compete. Laureen was on spring break at the time, and she usually attended the matches with her mom, but she had asked to stay home this time. She spent the day around the neighborhood and at a convenience store on the block. Several family members had stopped by the apartment during the day, and in the evening, she invited one male and one female friend over, and the three drank a 6-pack of beer and a bottle of wine together.
That's a lot.
For 3 people? That's 2
children.
Yes. That's 2 beers and a third bottle of wine. It's still a lot if you're 14.
And depending on how fast they drink it.
It's true. They never said.
Somehow I picture it being in like an hour. Like 3 beers and a third of a bottle of wine an hour. I would be sleeping.
Go to bed.
Me, 3 beers and a third of a bottle of wine. I would be sleeping.
I'm going to bed. You can't need me. So Laureen's friends would later say that they saw her restocking wine coolers at the convenience store during the day. Possibly
she was restocking?
She was restocking, and it was possibly in exchange for alcohol. So she was doing like work on the side so she could get alcohol.
Booze for free.
Yeah.
At 14.
Yeah.
Do you know when they changed the drinking age from 18 to 21? I know it was like around when my parents were like 18 or 21. So it probably was 18 at this point. So she was only like 4 years shy of being of legal drinking age.
86.
Okay, yeah, literally on the year my parents graduated high school. So I remember like them saying my dad got grandfathered in because he turned 18 before they changed it.
Yeah.
And so then because he would have turned 18 in 85. And so I
always kind of wondered, like, for those kids who were like 19.
Yeah.
And then it changed to 21.
Yeah, I think they got grandfathered in. But then my mom missed it because she would have turned 21 after or whatever.
Bummer.
But like you think about it like then in 1980, like she was like I think about it now in 2024 where it's like a 14-year-old is like 7 years away from being of legal drinking age. Not that the 14-year-olds don't drink. But imagine a 14-year-old stocking shelves at a store now. Well, just in general, they probably wouldn't let you.
No, and they wouldn't let you do wine coolers.
That's what I mean. Like, well, they wouldn't let you touch alcohol because you
legally
can't sell alcohol if you're under 18.
Sell or serve.
Correct.
Yeah.
Sorry, tangent. Continue.
Side note. So around 12:30 a.m. on April 27th, Laureen was sitting with her male friend in the living room when they heard voices in the apartment building's hallways. he would then try and exit the apartment through the back door. He kind of thought that it was Laureen's mom was coming home and that he and Laureen would get in trouble if he got found there.
Oh.
The male friend stated that he heard Laureen lock the door behind him as he left, and another neighbor would confirm having heard voices approaching the apartment around that time. Sometime around 1:15 a.m. on April 27th, Judith arrived home accompanied by her boyfriend and noticed that the light bulbs on all 3 of the apartment building's floors had been unscrewed.
Weird.
Yeah, leaving the hallway completely dark. When she arrived at her apartment's front door, she would find it unlocked. Judith initially looked into her daughter's darkened bedroom, saw the bed was occupied, and assumed it was Laureen. Her boyfriend then noticed that the back door was wide open, and Judith went to wake Laureen to ask why, but she realized as she approached the bed that it was not her daughter at all. It was her daughter's friend.
Oh.
Laureen's friend claimed that Laureen had been in bed with her, but had taken a pillow and blanket to sleep on the couch in the living room. The girl would later state that she was unable to recall any of that night due to her inebriation.
See, 3 beers and a third of a bottle of wine will do it.
Upon further examination of the apartment, Judith found Laureen's purse and her brand new sneakers,
Oh.
which was a birthday gift, in the living room. None of Laureen's possessions, including her money or clothing, were missing, nor were there any signs of a struggle in the apartment. Judith called family members to see if Laureen was with them, and she and her boyfriend went out to search the neighborhood. Around 3:45 a.m., Judith spotted a police car, which she flagged down to report her daughter missing. For several weeks, police believed that Laureen had run away. However, when she did not return, they began to modify their theory. They instead believed that she had left the apartment intending to come back, and something happened.
Right.
A bus company employee told police that he had sold a ticket to a girl matching Laureen's description on the day she disappeared, and a driver from the company identified Laureen from an old photograph as a girl he had dropped off in Park Square, Boston.
Okay.
Weeks later, police obtained a more recent photograph and interviewed him again. The driver said he was no longer sure that the girl he dropped off was actually her.
Okay.
Which, honestly, I'm a little like,
It's hard to tell.
eyewitnesses suck.
Yeah, they do.
Like, I think that all the time.
I can't even remember what people look like after I see them multiple times, let alone like one time.
One time out of context.
Uh-huh.
Out of the outfits, out of the, you do your hair different, you do your makeup different, you wear a different outfit. You're not in, like, if I'm used to seeing you at work and I see you out in public, I'm not going to know you.
For sure.
So good luck. So some subsequent events that happened, there's some related cases to this. So 1 month before Laureen's disappearance, 15-year-old Rachel, I think it's Rachel, but they spell it
like Raquel or something.
Yeah, Rachael.
Yeah, I think it's Raquel.
Raquel Garden went missing after she purchased a pack of cigarettes and chewing gum at Rose Corner Market on Route 108 in Newton, New Hampshire on March 22nd, 1980. So
close by, kind of similar story.
About a month before, about the same age, similar things. She has not ever been seen since. Even though there is no evidence linking the two cases, Laureen was a brunette about the same age as Raquel and vanished in a nearby town. Law enforcement, however, continues to be insistent that the two cases are unrelated. So Ron's case has been tentatively linked to the disappearance of 15-year-old Shirley McBride, who was last seen leaving her half-sister's apartment on Union Street in Concord, New Hampshire, at 9:30 p.m. on July 13th, 1984. So 4 years later.
Yeah.
She has not been seen or heard from since. Her parents declared her legally dead 12 years after she disappeared. That's Shirley's parents.
Okay.
6 weeks after Ron's disappearance, Denise Danault, a 25-year-old woman who lived 2 blocks from the residence, went missing from a bar in Manchester. Decades later, police determined that suspected serial killer Terry Peter Rasmussen was living in the area under a pseudonym, Bob Evans. Like the potatoes.
For the restaurant?
True. Rasmussen later pled guilty to murdering his wife in California in 2003, and he would die in 2010.
So they're thinking he potentially could have been a lead.
Yeah, Rasmussen lived 1.5 miles away from where Laureen disappeared, and both she and Denise reportedly closely resembled each other in spite of their age difference.
Okay.
Authorities believe Rasmussen may have been involved in as many as 6 more murders and or disappearances, including that of Denise Bowden, who vanished in Gothtown in 1981 and was never found, as well as the Bear Brook murders, which refers to 4 female murder victims found in the Bear Brook State Park between 1985 and 2000.
Holy cow.
Sounds like he was good at being awful.
Mm-hmm.
One of the victims was Rasmussen's biological daughter. Rasmussen was also linked to the death of Elizabeth Lamott, who was 17, who disappeared from Manchester, New Hampshire on April 6, 1984. She was last seen at a youth development center, and her naked body was found southbound on the Geraldstown, Tennessee exit on Interstate 81. She had been beaten and stabbed, and the medical examiner determined that she had died from a blow to the head. Her body was identified in November of 2018. So a little bit more on some phone calls that happened around this time.
Okay.
On October 1st, 1980, Judith found she had been charged for 3 phone calls placed in California. She did not have any friends or relatives there, and Laureen had never had any ties to the area. 2 calls were placed from a motel in Santa Monica and another from a motel in Santa Ana, the latter of which was made to a teen sexual assistance hotline. Detectives spoke with the physician who maintained the hotline, and he initially denied having known anything of the call.
Okay.
5 years later, in 1985, Carol Jensen, an investigator from the organization Wings for Children, called the physician, and he changed his story. He claimed that numerous young women and runaways occasionally visited his wife at their home, and that one of the girls might have been Laureen.
Wow.
He also stated that Annie Sprinkle, a sex educator and former pornographic actress, who allegedly knew his wife, might have had information regarding Laureen's disappearance and those of some other runaway girls. However, both investigators from Wings for Children and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children were unable to find any evidence linking Sprinkle to Ron's disappearance.
Gotcha.
Throughout 1981, Judah claimed to have received numerous mysterious phone calls from an unknown individual, which she always received at approximately 3:45 a.m. Don't call me at 3:45 a.m.
Right.
I mean, I'm up now, but please don't. During these calls, Judith claimed the caller would never speak. The phone calls continued for several years after Laureen's disappearance, increasing in frequency during the Christmas time holiday.
Wow.
The calls eventually stopped after she changed her phone number several years after Laureen's disappearance. And Laureen's aunt, Janet Roy, also reported that on several occasions after her disappearance, a young girl would call her family's telephone to speak to her son, Michael. Whenever Michael picked up the phone, the caller was silent. Janet often believed that the caller may have been Laureen, as she would refer to Michael as Mike, a nickname that
not many people used.
Pretty much only Laureen used for her cousin. So Jensen visited California in 1986, and she located the motels from which the October 1980 phone calls had been placed. She discovered that one of the motels may have been used as a filming location for a child pornographer known as Dr. Z.
Oh.
I know. However, Jensen was unable to link Dr. Z to the hotline. The same year, a childhood friend of Laureen's named Roger Marias received a phone call from a woman who claimed to be Lori or Laureen. Marias' mother answered the call and stated that the woman claimed to have been her son's former girlfriend. So Roger had dated Laureen when the two were about 12.
Gotcha.
So some alleged sightings in 1981, after the receipt of the October 1980 phone calls, a close friend of Laureen's aunt, Jobeth, I don't know, Swanson claimed to have seen her at a bus terminal in Boston. The sighting remains unconfirmed. Another unconfirmed sighting happened in 1988 when a witness claimed to have seen a sex worker in Anchorage, Alaska, who matched Laureen's description. So finally, a couple later developments. In the late 1980s, Laureen's mother remarried and relocated to Florida. She has stated that she believes her daughter placed the phone calls from California in October of 1980. The unnamed male friend who was drinking alcohol with Laureen that night, she disappeared, actually committed suicide in 1985.
No.
Though law enforcement never considered him a suspect in her disappearance.
Yeah.
Investigators assigned to Laureen's case have stated they believe foul play is involved. But other than that, that's pretty much where we
sit today.
They've done some remakes of her, like what she might look like now.
As an adult, yeah.
But a lot of her photos are in black and white.
Sure.
Which, when did we move to color?
Well, there's definitely color photos in 1980. I know, but think about what year did your dad graduate from high school? 70 something.
78.
And his senior photos are in color.
That's true. I don't know why hers was in black and white. New Hampshire was really behind the times.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, couldn't you
colorize it?
Yeah.
You would think.
We got Photoshop now.
You would just do it now.
That's what I'm saying. Color her in. Is that
stay in the line?
Well, on Photoshop. I don't know. That's kind of crazy though to think that, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder how deep different child sex trafficking things are, because you hear about people getting charged and things like that, and obviously it's a problem that we still experience today, but I just wonder sometimes I just think people are so blind to how bad some of those things actually are. Not how bad, but how big of a problem it actually is and things like that. And then once you're in there to then
get out.
I don't know. Do you then just become one of the abusers then? You never actually leave? I don't know. That's just crazy to think about.
I have no idea. Well, I'm sure it's just a cycle. It's a system you get so used to. Not to make light of obviously any of that or that situation. Have you been following the P. Diddy stuff at all?
A little bit, but not completely.
Did you hear what they found in his home?
No.
1,000 bottles of baby oil.
Ew.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he used as a lubricant because he sucks. But
that's a lot.
That's a lot of baby oil.
Did he just get it? Okay, this is not to make light of it, but did he get a deal?
I don't know.
That's why he ordered so many?
He's the man in the math problem.
He is the man in the math problem. And the thing that's crazy is obviously he's a predator. He's not good. Fuck P. Diddy.
He also had almost 900 dildos.
What?
He's a creep.
Yeah.
And there's an interview where he's trying to grab Mike Tyson's butt on national television. And it's Mike Tyson when Mike Tyson's actively still fighting. You would get killed. That man can kill you.
Is that were people just not aware? Because you don't just accidentally become a child predator.
Well, he was just a predator in general. But
I know, but
I don't. Unfortunately, I think as much as it's a sad answer, money can get you a lot of things.
Oh, 100%. But still, and obviously there's a lot more, I think, awareness to some of the things, and people. It's not easy now, but I think it's a little bit easier to come forward now because I think there's a little bit more believability.
For sure.
And power to victims than there's more now than there's ever been. And it's still not enough. We still need to do more, especially to remove victim blaming and things like that. But yeah. Also, that has to put you on a watch list to get 1,000 bottles.
Well, I'm sitting there and I'm I occasionally
how do you get that delivered to you? Walmart, Costco?
I think his assistants always went and bought it. But I'm this is what I want to know. How many bottles has he gone through? Because if you just
and how much are you using?
Stock is nuts. And I have bought baby oil in the past, right? Because I'm like, I like it for like a moisturizer. It's nice in the summers.
Just trying to clarify, your uses of baby oil that are very,
very normal. Do you know how long it takes to go through a bottle of baby oil?
It's
I don't think I ever got through it. I think I threw it away.
Like, that's what I think is crazy of, like, that has to put you on the watch list.
I keep seeing TikToks now that's like, the cops trying to get into P. Diddy's house and
they're
someone
sliding.
Just like sliding across the floor.
Oh, that's not funny.
And I'm like, oh, shoot. Yeah, Sean Combs is his real name. You suck.
Yeah, fuck Sean Combs.
But a lot of it, you think about P. Diddy, you think about, the fuck's that guy's name?
Epstein.
Not him. He sucks too. Oh, Bill Cosby. There it is.
Oh.
When you are in the limelight, even Epstein, I'll use that too. A lot of times it's almost like nothing sticks.
Oh, Trump.
Yeah. Nothing sticks. You could do some pretty terrible shit and people like have rumblings. The only thing you need to do is stay relevant.
100%.
Like P. Diddy's just not relevant anymore.
Right.
He fell out of public opinion and he fell out of public favor because he was not like putting out music the same way he was or producing the same way he was. And that's kind of now where he's at getting charged. Bill Cosby on TV, staying relevant. Yeah. Everyone adored him. He got off TV, retired, fell out of like public's perception. And that's kind of when things happened for him. Same with Epstein, although Epstein's just rich.
Yeah.
He sucks. He's dead, right?
Yeah, I think he
committed suicide.
Died by suicide in jail, quote unquote.
Bad person.
Oh, yeah. And you can make a list, it keeps going, but crazy. Well, it's an interesting theory.
Hey.
Thank you for bringing light to that sad topic, I guess.
Thanks for bringing light to that bummer.
If there's ever any stories that you think we should cover, please let us know. Or if there's any other topics that you think would be interesting for us, definitely send us a DM. Slide into them.
Slide in our DM.
Send us an email. It's linked on our Twitter. Leave a comment on our page, our podcast page. That's fun.
Yeah, that.
Or YouTube. I don't know.
If you could YouTube it, that'd be great.
Check us out.
No.
Check them out.
Look at them listening, do you think?
I have no idea.
Anyways,
Florey Sports is here. Thanks for sponsoring the show. Anyways, we'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.